Do you think that any of this will lead you back to AEW? Like, was the door left open when you left there?
I think so.
Because it was so quick that you were there.
Yeah,
And
it
I know
was
you've
pretty
spoken
quick.
about that, in other interviews, but it just feels like you showed up there and then less than a year later it was done.
Yeah. No, I think anything is possible if you have like the right intentions, if you're coming from the right place. One thing that I've learned from out here in LA is, people do business with people that they like. It doesn't really have much to do with talented. Like you can have the most talent in the world, but if your attitude is poor, or you know, if you're not, um, if you don't have the right intentions towards that person that you want to work with, then things aren't really going to like work out the way that you want them to. But I feel like if you're a decent human being, you're hardworking, you're respectable, um, you're focused, you're determined, I feel like anything can kind of lead back to any door can truly be open.
Was the hatchet buried with Tony Khan? Because, you called him out on social
Yeah,
media
yeah,
pretty publicly.
yeah,
And I know that you guys did speak about that, but
yeah.
did you feel like there was still some animosity after that?
Probably a little bit. I mean, how can there not be? But I think Tony's. I like Tony a lot. I really like Tony. I think that's the first time I'm saying that out loud.
Can't take it back now.
Yeah, I can't take it back now. But I do like Tony, and I like I that was one thing that made me so willing to give AEW a chance, because I feel like I was scarred um, from my WWE run. I feel like I was, traumatized a little bit.
Obviously, Tony liked you a lot
Yeah,
too.
Tony
He
liked me a
doesn't
lot.
bring
Yeah,
people in he's not interested in.
yeah. I feel like we connected pretty quickly, and I feel like that's why things probably there was a lot of emotion involved. And I probably shouldn't have brought the emotion out. But I'm glad again, I'm glad that I did. I'm glad that you know, I'm glad that uh I'm glad that I showed people that I stand for something. I'm glad that I showed people that um I care about myself. I care about others. It's not always about a paycheck to me. Um, yeah, I and I'm sorry. I'm kind of. I mean, this is huge for me. Like really, because this is the first time that I'm really speaking on it. Like I've talked about it, but I haven't really talked about it in that sense, like with my actual like relationship with Tony and stuff like that. But
Have you talked to him since you left
yeah,
AEW?
yeah, I've talked to him a few times. Yeah, yeah. We've talked a number of times, and it's always great. It's always how you been? Good to hear from you. Um, you know, if a show's in the area, I try to like pop out and see it and stuff like that. So the love is still there, the support is still there. Um, yeah, I think there's just other factors. Into me actually being there. I mean, I'm doing so much right now. I'm happy with what I'm doing. It's not really like I'm trying to force something to happen. If it happens, it happens. But I love the direction that I'm going in right now. I love what I'm doing. I'm glad that I feel like I don't really have any true like bad blood within wrestling. I feel like with me being so active right now and being in front of people, it's a lot different when you're in front of somebody. You can see them. You can kind of feel their energy. You can see why they're doing what they're doing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people with me popping up back up like this so consistently and kind of like making a pretty big splash with any show that I do. I feel like people are starting to see me and see my characteristics more, and you know, who I am as a person, as a performer. Maybe respecting my work a little bit more, realizing that I'm 28, but I've been doing this for almost a decade now. I think people are just kind of coming to terms and just really starting to see me. Yeah, it's a nice feeling.